It must have,
Still trying to teach.
it
We'll be
must have the beatings I endured.
we'll be live in about 20 seconds here.
Weren't you his teacher, Roger?
No, or you would have known that.
Roger, having seen the capsule that John Glenn went up there and done that in, he could have been the bravest man in the world at that point in time.
I know I couldn't fit in it.
It looked like a 55-gallon drum.
Well, I have 6 o'clock. You guys ready to roll? If not, we're rolling anyway. I want to welcome everybody to our committee meeting. Today is the 22nd of March, 2021. And this is where we call a work session. So I appreciate everybody coming tonight. This will be my last work session. And we'll do a little something special tonight during regular council. Mr. Mayor, we'll start with you.
Happy Monday. It was a beautiful day. I didn't get out much today. I was trapped in this building. So maybe someday I'll enjoy the sunshine. Definitely things moving and shaking within the city. We have this burning ordinance to talk about as far as just setting standards. Last year, I think we tried to set standards, never got there. Really just want a piece of legislation that will standardize the process and give our fire department the enforcement and just set the standard on, how things should be. And the language is just basically breaks down setting that standard. So if you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer it. Notice in my travels around the city, litter, a lot of furniture sitting out unwrapped, and unwrapped furniture does not get picked up by Kimball. Beginning of next week, we will have bags for mattresses, couches, and bigger pieces of furniture that needs wrapped that Kimball will actually pick up. So just want to remind residents to wrap your furniture. And that's about all I have to comment on for this meeting. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and I will answer them for you.
Any questions for the mayor? Wow, okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yep.
Service Director, Matt?
Don't have a lot other than for council, ordinance 13-21. We just got the summer ODOT road salt. I'd like to get that passed in 3 readings tonight so we can go ahead and get that road salt ordered and get it coming this way. And then ordinance 11-21, if we could pass that in 3 readings tonight, we can get that in the paper and get the bid process going after the 10-day time limit. So it's up in June, but just looking at the way things fall, I think we ought to pass it tonight in 3 readings. So if you can do that, I'd appreciate it. Yes, Chair.
Can we ask council to amend it and add the emergency clause?
I talked to Bob. We don't need to do that.
Okay.
We'll just wait 10 days and then it can go through as with the 3 readings. We did have a fireman resign this week. It's kind of ironic. We just done the civil service testing. And so we'll actually be doing interviews tomorrow with 3 of the candidates, and hopefully we'll find a prospective entry-level fireman through that process. I've actually got 2 of the fire captains will be sitting in on those interviews with me. And Mark talked about bagging of furniture. There is a lot of pieces out there. If you heard the WTNS, what we put on there, you either choose to bag it or we'll come and pick it up, and it's probably going to cost you $30 or $40 for us to get rid of it. So please bag your furniture. I'll reiterate that. And that's about all I have other than go OU. So any questions?
Max, the property at the corner of Second Street and the bridge across from the water plant, I'm getting questions on what we're doing with that. I thought we said it was for parking, but they're asking why we have the two dirt piles there. I don't know.
We're actually going to sod that, Roger, with the amount of storm drainage work that we'd have to put into that. It does not make sense to pick up 5 parking spots there, maybe less with that guy wire. It's kind of a weird little lot there. So that dirt's there for the rec guys when we get, it's just now kind of time to plant. So we kind of been holding off on until we get some seed on it. And we've got all that parking now down at the Waterworks Park. It's very easy to walk up that little ramp and get out on the sidewalk there. So
it's just going to be green space
for now until we come up with, we've talked about maybe some type of Art Deco stuff there. Or anybody's got any ideas, feel free. So
thanks.
Yep.
Any other questions?
I do have a question. I had someone ask me about the speed signs. I don't know if Max or Mark can talk about that. Do you guys have like a certain areas or a schedule of roads that you're going to, or if someone feels like they may want one on their street? I mean, the street was Redwood Drive.
If they call, we'll be happy to put them there.
Okay.
The way those work, they last for about a week.
Okay.
Then we pull them off, download all the data that they've collected, recharge the batteries, put them back up the following week, send the data to the sheriff's office. So
yeah. Okay. Thanks. So they just have to. Okay. So they just call in and okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I was thinking the other day that South 14th Street would probably be a good place to hang one as well to see what kind of speeds we got out there. So.
Yep. All right. Thanks.
Yep.
Max, can you turn off the light that shows what the speed is and still get the recording? I think you'd get a much more accurate reading on that because everybody lifts off the gas as soon as they see that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think some people try to beat the high score. I don't know the answer to that, Tom. If you can actually turn off the radar and have them still record, I'll have to ask Kevin about that. For as much as they cost, you would think that would be an option, but
if I
don't know
could,
the answer.
If I could, as soon as that picks up the speed, it's already recorded. It's just like running radar in a cruiser. When you see what your speed is, it's already been recorded.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no prizes for high score either. Well, I mean, maybe fines or jail time, but really it's not a game. So I just want to remind people to be cautious. Now that it's nice and warm out, I know we've had wrecks in a lot of areas of town. So look at the road, look up the road, and stop looking at your phone, please, so we can be safe out there.
Okay, any other questions? All right, thank you, Matt. The auditors are up next.
Actually, I don't have anything this evening, so you get a break from me.
Okay. How about the clerk? Anything for the clerk? Now, are we looking at 3 readings for 12-21 on the first reading? Are we looking for 3 on that?
My thought is it's council's pleasure. I don't know of anybody that's being hired. If you wanted to let it take its course tonight and maybe pass it on the next one, that's fine. In the unlikely event that somebody gets hired, that would kind of fall within a pay period. So I was thinking about it earlier, but if you want to make it, just let it take its course tonight and pass it at the next meeting, I think that would be absolutely fine.
All right. Any other legislation, council, you want to take its course? The rest of the ones that are on the agenda tonight?
Can I ask a question, Cliff? Max, is that fireman that you're intending to hire? That's a bargaining position, so it doesn't really matter as far as this ordinance goes.
That's
But
right.
if we anticipate hiring somebody, I'd like that passed, but if we don't, then it's not a big deal.
I don't know of anybody that's not in collective bargaining that we would be hiring unless Sherry does.
I don't have anybody, and I can't imagine municipal court hiring anybody right at this moment. So unless you have somebody, Bob, too, that kind of.
I have nobody.
I think the positions that are on there, I really think we're okay.
Good. All right, thank you. Finance Committee?
Nothing.
The Ordinance Committee?
I think we're pretty well set for tonight, so we're good.
Infrastructure?
No, sir.
Grants and Economic Development?
No.
Yes or no? Housing and Property Maintenance?
No.
Nothing? Okay, thank you. Safety Services?
I've talked to Roger and Michelle about the trying to honor the policemen, the firefighters, and I think we're just gonna put it on hold right now, Cliff. I think right now there's too many heroes out there, and I just hate to leave somebody out. So I think we just need to maybe get to the drawing board and maybe try to put everybody, maybe let's do a mural or something. I mean, I think we can take this and try to get everybody in it. So that's where we're at.
Yeah, it's a touchy, but it's a great gesture, and I would agree with you.
Okay.
Parks and Recreation?
No, nothing.
Insurance Committee? Nothing from insurance? How about the Rules Committee?
No, sir.
Well, that's short and sweet. Anything else, anybody? Any comments, any statements?
If we have a couple minutes, I'd like to
Yeah.
explain something that I think there's might be some confusion over. You know, typically we do a lot of ordinances where we suspend the rules and give it a second or a third reading. That is not passing an ordinance by emergency. The Ohio Revised Code requires that we read these ordinances in 3 separate meetings. And what you're doing by those motions is suspending that rule and allowing it to be read in one meeting. And there's supposed to be a good reason for it. In other words, that it needs passed right away. But that's not passing an emergency. Passing an emergency is when it has that emergency clause on it, so that when you do pass after 3 readings, it becomes effective immediately upon the mayor signing it. Otherwise, he has to wait the required waiting period before it would become effective after we advertise it. So those are the 2 differences. A lot of times those things get mixed up because Max called me tonight and there's obviously was some confusion on that. I just want you to be aware of the differences.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate that insight. Anybody else? All right, well, I'm not going to hold you just to hold you. I have 6:20. If we don't have anything further, I'm just going to suggest we adjourn. See you at 7.
6:45.
6:45, I'm sorry. Thank you, Roger.
like a pad. It's magnetic. To get it back on there, you just line up the Whoa. I didn't mean to. Could y'all hear my door slam?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. I was putting lotion on my hands and used my foot.
Gail, you get that pool opened up yet?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I was just wondering if you got the pool open yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Maybe the end of April we're shooting for.
It's a nice one.
Yeah, they're finally coming and putting the fence tomorrow. And we've been waiting since what, August?
Yeah. It was August.
Finally, we got actually, and they called today and said they were still waiting on one post, the corner post, and he was hoping to have it today, but if not, they were still coming tomorrow.
Well, I have 6:45. And well, there are others that may come in. I'm going to ask the clerk to read the purpose of this meeting.
It is for Resolution 2-21 that's on our agenda tonight to approve the Finley and Jones family application for placement of farmland in an agricultural district pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 929.02.
Clerk, do we have anybody that has texted you with a question or a statement?
I don't believe so. Let me double check real quick.
Regarding this matter?
I have not received any questions or any communication via the legal ad we put out or the letter that I sent to the Finley and Jones family.
Okay. This meeting will remain open until 7 p.m.
Cliff, I would ask if anybody remembers the details. I know this is just a repeat that we do every so many years. In case anybody is listening in, we might want to share that.
Anybody have any?
What was your question?
We've done this every several years, right? It's just an automatic repeat.
5
Every
years.
Okay. So it's nothing new.
We have 3 different ones we do, but they all have different starting years.
Okay, thank you.
We have 5 minutes.
This has been the longest 15 minutes ever. Sorry, I have to say it. And my clock still says 6:59 for like 2 minutes.
Madam Clerk, let the record reflect that this meeting is adjourned at 7 p.m. And we are now calling to order our regular council meeting on March 22nd, 2021, 7 p.m. Before I call the roll or ask the clerk to call the roll, let me say I'm going to do something a little special and different tonight. I have my reading and they're all good. But before we call the roll, I want to thank all of you for serving. Thank all of you for the 9 years of working together. I can honestly say that there was never a time I was ever ashamed of anyone on this council for their outbursts or neglect. It was a pleasure being your president. I look forward to being your president and the people you today. Mr. Mayor, I still need to invite some people from Congress and come down and sit in your meeting, in this council meeting, and let them see how business is really conducted, nonpartisan. And it's conducted in a way that it really stands for the people. And I can say that honestly, that you have done a yeoman's job in what you do. And I appreciate the time. And I have my reasons for doing what I'm getting ready to do. I'm going to call the roll. Then I'm going to pass the gavel to a newly appointed President Pro Tem. So clerk, will you call the roll?
Gross.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Johnson.
Yes. Here.
Moore.
Here.
Andrews.
Here.
Barcroft.
Here.
Turner.
Here.
Mishler.
Here.
Had we been in our council chambers, City Hall, I would have President Pro Tem. So I'll do a virtual tonight. I'm going to ask if there's no objections that this gavel to our President Pro Tem, Councilwoman Andrews, and she shall from this point forward. Again, thank you, and may God bless all.
Thanks, Cliff.
Thank you, Cliff.
All right. Okay. Will you please stand for the pledge? Mr. Mishler, would you like to lead us in the pledge? And then we'll remain standing for the invocation by Mr. Gross.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father God, we thank you again for the opportunity to represent the citizens of Coshocton. Lord, may our heads be clear and our hearts be clear, and we do what needs to be done. That pray this in your name. Amen.
Okay. Thank you. Council, you should have received minutes from our last council meeting on March 8th. Are there any questions or comments?
I'd like to make a motion the minutes be accepted.
Second. Okay, motion by Johnson, second by Turner. Clerk, call the roll.
Gross.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Andrews.
Yes.
Barcroft.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
I'm having really bad technical difficulty. Everybody's freezing. I'm echoing. So bear.
Like we're all having the same problem.
Yes.
Y'all all are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think this falls on Kaylee?
Yes. All right, well, I guess we're just gonna do the best that we can. All right, Terry, do we have any public input for tonight's meeting?
I have received none.
Okay, thanks. Any standing committee reports? Okay. All right, we'll go to the mayor's report.
Cherry jinxed the whole meeting because she brought me a new piece of technology, and I'm blaming it all on Cherry. And it feels liberating for me to actually get to blame someone else for something instead of just taking all the blame myself. So I must admit, I feel free on this sunny Monday now. Can you hear me better, Cherry?
I can. Did you turn off your old iPad?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's going to take twice as long. It says my internet connection is unstable. So can everyone hear me? I don't want this taking twice as long because, you know, I already take 3 times longer than what I should. First, want to congratulate the Reverend Cliff Biggers as our past council president. Definitely your service to our community, not only within City Hall, within the community. I know you're almost a lifelong resident here. The things that you did at the church, the things that you just did for our community. Just want to say God bless you. You've been my voice of reason a couple times, and it's calming and soothing. And I, really enjoyed your perspective. Being a reverend and being a detective is like being a car salesman and a lawyer. So I applaud you for your career in law enforcement and within city council, being a reverend as well. I'm sure you fixed a couple problems in your day, and I applaud you for your service to this community. This past week celebrated groundbreaking at MFM, and very excited for what the future holds at MFM, and anything, as I told MFM, anything that the city can do to help with progress, with projects. Definitely want to have that relationship with our local businesses and residents as well, helping progress along. Glad they chose to stay here. We've lost a lot in the past, and for once we're celebrating the future. So definitely a great thing down on 6th Street. I want to remind people it's warm, it's nice. We want people to enjoy the parks, but once again, I get to be like an adult babysitter and tell people, please pick up after yourself. When you're at the parks, notice a lot of trash. I'm not going to blame just the kids. I'm going to blame everyone. At some point, we're going to have cameras up. So hopefully we can write littering tickets off cameras. I don't know. Is that something we can do, Sheriff Crawford? I want people to enjoy. I get messages all the time. I had a message about kids sitting on a tennis net at Hall Park, and just want to remind people as well, we have nice things, and to keep nice things, people have to treat them with respect. So if people could please beat their kids, I'd appreciate that as well. And maybe you don't have to beat them, but just actually now it's handy. All you have to do is take their cell phones and their PlayStations away, and it's like you're beating them. So that's what I suggest. Let your kids know if they want nice parks to please respect what we have. And and pick up their trash and don't hang on tennis nets or gates or anything else to destroy. Take care of our parks and our community. And if you have to beat your kids to get that done, I guess that's what you need to do. So I think as a whole, we need to clean up. Lake Park cleanup, Roger, is it April 10th?
We have a meeting Wednesday. I want to say the 12th, but I'll double check.
Okay.
We've already cleaned up the Opportunity School, cleaned up the highway side. As you mentioned, trash is horrible. We probably had 10 bags of trash just from that highway end. And they also cleaned the pool and pavilion area. But the regular park cleanup day, I'll double check during our meeting and get it to you.
Okay. The city cleanup day will be April 17th. And we invite anyone out to help clean their community up. We're meeting Court Square at 8:30 a.m. If you get there early and beat me, then you might be able to get donuts. Not sure what you in store. I think, and the United Way puts that on. I want to send a thank you to Lynn Miser. I think the first 50 people will receive a t-shirt, and we will have trash bags and some safety vests. Just want to remind people to be careful, of their surroundings while they're picking up trash. And, if you can give a half hour, it's better than no hours. So give a half hour, give an hour, give 2 hours. Keep cleaning trash up the whole day. We don't care. We appreciate the more hands, the easier the job is, and we appreciate any help and all help. If you want to do something, I would say that's a great option to get out and do something and help clean the community up as well.
Mark?
Yeah.
It is Saturday the 10th, and also we'll be getting in touch with you. We're going to clean up the Cambridge Road Hill Opportunity School students. So we may need some, maybe you or Jeff can help us out with a couple signs that will alert traffic. There are people working. We're going to try to get some orange vest or something that the kids can wear while they're doing that. But that hill gets a lot of traffic, but the ditch going up the hill is terrible. So we are going to take care of that and tie that in with our cleanup day.
Awesome.
Roger, I think what we better do is we'll get a couple public work guys with pickups with flashing lights and kind of get on either side of them. I've been involved in that cleanup up through there, and we really need to protect them. I appreciate them doing that, though. You're right, there's a lot of trash, but I'll get a couple guys out there that day, and they'll have to go through 2 4-wheel drive trucks to get to them. So
okay, well, I'll get you a time and a date. Thank you.
That'd be great.
And last but certainly not least, I received my COVID vaccination. Very excited to get that. It has nothing to do with being Democrat or Republican or anyone forcing anything upon anyone. I'm pretty sure that everyone right here in this Zoom meeting has had vaccinations in the past. To go to school, I think we had to receive vaccinations. So I strongly suggest, if you like normalcy, to think about getting the vaccine, not only to protect yourself, but to protect others. I believe they're safe. I know a lot of people, including myself, that have been vaccinated, and I highly suggest, I'm not telling anyone what to do, but I highly suggest, for the well-being and safety of not only ourselves, but also our economy and normal everyday life, to please become vaccinated. I feel like Bob Barker telling everyone to have their pets spayed and neutered. So if there's any questions, I will answer any questions that you may have. I'm really hoping to put that on WTNS in the morning. Any questions? I'm trying to get an update on the vaccination clinic as we speak. So hopefully by the end of this meeting, I'll know how long the vaccination clinic will run. and how long you can call the number to set up an appointment. So if there's any questions, I'll accept any questions. Congratulations, Kaylee, on being in charge now, and look forward to working with you, and look forward to seeing what's in store for council president position in the future. And definitely, you know, let's get it done. So I'm just glad it's sunny and warm.
All right, thanks, Mark. Any questions for the mayor? All right, safety service director.
I'll start out by telling Cliff, thank you for your service as well. You've been a voice of reason for me as well, and I've always appreciated your counsel and the way you handle yourself in all situations. It's something we can all strive to do to imitate you in life. So thank you for your service, buddy. We're going to miss you. Really don't have a lot. All of our projects that we have in process are progressing, what I'll say is on schedule. With West Lafayette and the 8th and 9th Street water projects. Looks like we did do some good down at Kids America with repairing the levees on the south side with the rainfall event the other day. I think we'd have had our pickleball courts underwater if we hadn't have done that. So that looks good. And everything was, as we talked about in committee, the two ordinances authorizing us to purchase our road salt for next year and to let bids for our waterworks chemicals. If we could have 3 readings on them tonight, I'd appreciate it. And I'm open to any questions.
Okay, any questions for our service director? All right, the law director.
First, Cliff, it's been a pleasure working with you, and good luck in the future. You should have before you, it should have been emailed to you, the February law director's report. Beyond that report, I have nothing else unless there's questions.
Okay, any questions for the law director? All right, auditor's report.
Good evening. I actually don't have any evening, but it's been an honor, and you have guided us with such wisdom and intelligence over the past 9 years. And just speaking from the heart, I am going to so miss you. And you're a dear friend. And I wish you all the best, Cliff.
Right, thanks. Any questions for the auditor? All right, sheriff's report.
Good evening, everyone. I submitted a shift assignment update. Hopefully everyone received that. And Reverend Biggers, it's been a pleasure to know you, to work with you. And Licking County is going to be lucky to have you as a resident. God bless. Anybody have any questions? I'll be happy to answer.
Any questions for the sheriff? All right, thanks. Property code investigator?
I don't have a formal report. What I would remind everybody is spring's here. People are out moving around the community, starting to get a lot of calls, a lot of complaints about litter and about people's yards and houses after the winter. So we'll just ask everybody, make sure that you do your due diligence, get out, take care of your yards, check your spoutings, make sure that if they've had ice damage that you get those repaired so we're not putting water on other people's properties. As you do your spring cleaning, if you have furniture that needs to go, make sure that that gets bagged. Kimball's will not take it if it's not bagged. Hopefully next week we will have bags at City Hall that people that don't have the means to get those bags can stop in, and we'll supply them with a bag to make sure the furniture gets picked up. If you have yard waste, tree limbs, things like that, they need to be cut in 4-foot sections and bundled. But we're going to need to start getting them ahead of things. If not, if we have to come in and clean it up, it's a minimum of $40 an hour, $50 administrative fee, and $150 dumping fee for us to clean up your mess. So it's a lot better if you do that yourself. Time to get junk vehicles out of yards and off the street. If they are inoperable, they have to be in a garage. If they're unlicensed, they have to be in a garage. I understand that with the COVID, Sheriff, I believe we're still in a hold pattern on unlicensed vehicles, correct? They still have a moratorium on that. So they've got another month or so that they can, before they have to have those licenses in place, but the vehicle still has to operate. So I just would appreciate if everybody would do their part and help get things cleaned up. And I'm open for any questions.
Any questions for the property code investigator?
No.
Okay. All right, clerk, do you have any other reports that were emailed?
Cherry,
You're muted.
No, those are the only two that have been emailed since our last council meeting.
Okay, thank you. All right, I guess we'll go into legislation. I ask for a motion to add ordinance 13-21 to tonight's agenda.
So moved.
Nice.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion by Moore, second by Johnson. Clerk, call the roll.
Gross,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Moore, Andrew,
Yes.
Barcroft,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
Okay. Ordinance /1321 has been added to the agenda. I ask the clerk to read the first reading of ordinance 11-21.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to prepare specifications advertising for chlorine, fluoride, alum, lime, sodium hexametaphosphate, and gas.
You have heard the first reading of 11-21. Are there any questions or discussion?
Make a motion to suspend the rules and give a second reading.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion by Johnson, second by Turner. Clerk, call the roll.
Gross,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Andrews,
Yes.
Barcroft,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
I will ask the clerk to give a second reading to 11-21.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor or service your specifications advertised fluoride, alum, lime, sodium hexametaphosphate, gasoline.
You've heard the second reading of 11-21. Are there any questions or discussion?
I'll make a motion. 11-21, a third reading, and we're still getting a little.
Still getting what?
Feedback.
Feedback. Okay, so I have a motion by Moore, second by Barcroft. Clerk, call the roll.
I apologize. I have nothing on in here. Gross,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Andrews,
Yeah.
Barcroft,
Yes.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Yes.
Can we
Yes.
pause for a moment? And I will move from my desk. Maybe that will help.
What also may help is for everybody to mute if they're not speaking.
Are you ready for the third reading?
Yes, can you give the third reading of 11-21?
An ordinance authorizing the mayor or service prepare specifications, advertise and let a bid for chlorine, fluoride, alum, lime, CO2, sodium hexametaphosphate, and gasoline.
You have heard the third reading of 11-21. Do you have any questions or discussion? Okay, being none, shall you pass this ordinance? Clerk, call the roll.
Gross,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Andrews,
Yes.
Barcroft,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
11-21 is adopted. I ask the clerk to read the first reading of 12-21.
An ordinance to establish wages for the positions hired and or appointed that are exempt from collective bargaining for employees hired and or appointed on or after April the 1st, 2021, and establishing said wages for 2022, 2023, and 2024.
We're going to go ahead and let this take its course. Okay. All right. I ask the clerk to read the first reading of 13-21.
An ordinance authorizing participation in the ODOT road salt contracts awarded in 2021.
You have heard the first reading of 13-21. Are there any questions or discussion?
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules and give 13-21 a second reading.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Moore, second by Turner. Clerk, call the roll.
Gross,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Andrews,
Yes.
Barcroft,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
I will ask the clerk to give a second reading to 13-21.
An ordinance authorizing participation in the ODOT road salt contracts awarded in 2021.
You have heard the second reading of 13-21. Any questions or concerns?
I move we suspend the rules and give it a third reading.
A second.
Okay, motion by Mishler, second by Gross. Clerk, call the roll.
Gross,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Andrews,
Yes.
Barcroft,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
I'll ask the clerk to give a third reading to 13-21.
An ordinance authorizing participation in the ODOT contracts awarded in 2021.
You have heard the third reading of 13-21. Do you have any questions or discussion? Okay. Being none, shall you pass this ordinance? Clerk, call the roll.
Gross,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Andrews,
Yes.
Barcroft,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
13-21 is adopted. We have 3 ordinances legislation at second reading. I will ask the clerk to give a second reading to 8-21.
An ordinance to rescind Chapter 1109 Board of Zoning Appeals.
You have heard the second reading of 8-21. Any questions or discussion? We will continue to let this take its course. I will ask the clerk to give a second reading to 9-21.
An ordinance to amend the Coshocton ordinances, Chapter 1111, Planning Commission.
You've heard the second reading of 9-21. Any questions or discussions? Okay, we will let this take its course. I ask the clerk to give a second reading to 10-21.
An ordinance to turn over ownership of 5 vacant lots owned by the city of Coshocton City to the Coshocton County Land Reutilization Corporation. Did we change that 6 to 5 or 5 to 4? Let me go check the ordinance. Hang on.
I'm not sure.
The Poplar address.
5 to 4.
I think it's 5 to 4.
651 Poplar Street, we were taking off.
Yes.
Yes, 4. I corrected the ordinance, and my apologies for not correcting the agenda, which is what I'm of.
Okay, so we're okay then?
For
let that take its course. All right. Okay. All right. We have one ordinance at third reading. I'll ask the clerk to give a third reading to 5-21.
An ordinance to amend the City of Coshocton Codified Ordinance 731 taxi cabs.
You've heard the third reading of 5-21. Any questions or concerns? Okay, being none, shall you pass this ordinance? Clerk, call the roll.
Gross,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Andrews,
Yes.
Barcroft,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Mishler.
5-21 is adopted. We have one resolution on the agenda. Clerk, will you please read resolution 2-21?
A resolution to approve the Finley and Jones family application for placement of farmland in an agricultural district pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 929.02.
If there are no questions or discussion, shall we pass this resolution? Clerk, please call the roll.
Gross,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Andrews,
Yes.
Barcroft,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
Resolution 2-21 is adopted. Is there any old business? No. Any new business?
Haley, I just have confirmation. The vaccine clinic will remain open. The call center 7:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. That's 740-622-2611. As of right now, this moment, they have 60 vaccines left for the Thursday clinic. That will be Thursday this week. So if anyone is looking to get the vaccine, they can call 740-622-2611 from 7:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday to schedule their vaccine. So talk to Commissioner Fisher, and he said probably they will run the vaccination clinic until early to midsummer. So the more people that call and schedule appointments and are involved, the longer that clinic's going to run. If no one's calling, then they're not going to keep that clinic open. So if anyone knows anyone who wants the vaccine, I am unsure at this point which vaccine will be offered as of right now, but they still have vaccines available for this week. So just wanted the community to know that, and just once again want to
thank EMA, county commissioners, county health, city health. It was a great clinic. And it was, you know, a lot of work. I told them we can do a county fair well, and we can do a vaccination clinic well, and then we need to improve the rest from there. So at least we have two things here that we do right, and I'm proud of everyone who was involved in that.
Great. Thank you, Mayor, for the update. Any communications from the council or the clerk? All right. Make a motion to adjourn. Motion by Johnson.
Yep. Come on, Roger.
No one else?
Second by Moore. All right, clerk, call the roll.
Gross,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Andrews,
Yes.
Barcroft,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thanks, Cliff. We appreciate it.
Good job.
Thanks,
Good
Cliff.
job.
Great, great.
God bless you all.
See you, Cliff.
See ya. I'll be around.